And he tries to get up and he starts screaming and he doesn't tip over the table. He manages to pull away the fucking, the tablecloth, leaving me underneath the table, kind of like clutching at his cock, going, I don't know why he's screaming. And he kind of runs off to the toilet without me, leaving me looking like slag of the day and, and rabbits. And he runs off, and I'm so plastered, I kind of stagger after him, and I'm like, look, I'm really, really sorry, right? And he's kind of in the toilet, and he's screaming about milk, and I just think, oh, this has failed, I've lost the one. I go into the ladies, and I kind of back into the toilet, pulling down my trousers. I nearly piss on the bride. And when I stand, I'm like, I'm well sorry, you fucking homo, look at you. She's like, don't call me a homo at my wedding. And then I kind of back down. You know when you're so pissed, you reach for one thing and you grab the thing next to it? Has anyone done that? Yeah, I was pissed enough to get confused between a party popper and a tampon. Oh, that wasn't a dry weave top sheet. And I discovered that as soon as I pulled the string. It's the one time in my life I've ever blown a smoke ring. I thought that's not healthy. And so I sort of went to A&E by myself. And I sat there and I swear I could smell burning hair. And this nurse comes up to me and she gives me a form, an ACC form. And she goes, just tell us how you did it. No. I said, I'm not going to tell you how I did this because A, you're going to pin it on the fridge in the staff room. Because I would. And B, I'm not going to, tell you really what I did, am I? I'm just going to kind of try to cloak it in phrases and euphemisms so that it's a little bit unclear. And when the government read the form to check I'm not committing fraud, and they read, whilst in a Western civilization, I inserted a small explosive device in my body and detonated it in a public place. I will never be allowed to fly to Heathrow Airport again, right? So yes, it was a bit bad, and I thought, right, okay, well, I've got to cheer myself up somehow. So I did a burlesque course. Yeah, yes. Now, I know that there's a couple of people in here who did it with me, yes. Quite exciting. Now, we've always had this argument, haven't we? Because they go, we're not strippers. We're not strippers. And I go, no, of course we're not, because they get paid. We practice at Grey Lynn Community Centre. It's as erotic as it sounds. We're on after the taekwondo. I've run into my diabetic passing out. And it's great, you know, with the fluorescent lighting and the wooden floor. And kind of, we're all there in our fishnet tights and things. And we had an amateur night recently. And I must admit, one or two of the acts scared me a little. They had a certain crack whore quality. No, they did. I know that it was called amateur night, but really it should have been called fishnets and crab baskets. Our instructor, she gives us, it's great, she gives us these feather boas, but they're from the $2 shop because we all practice with them, you know. And they sort of molt a bit, and so basically you've got all these women in fishnet tights. It just looks like a bunch of prostitutes waving roadkill. It's very erotic. And at the most recent show that we did, there was this old lady, and she's lost most of her hair, and she has a hump. It's a great combo. And she did this little move, you see, where she had her feather boa, and she kind of tried to lasso it around her neck, but she missed, but she got the hump. And then she thought, it's all right, I'll go again. And she kind of threw it again, and then she kind of got stuck, and she started fighting with herself to get the boa off. And I said to my mate sat at the back, what do you think? And he goes, oh, it looks like two monks fighting over a chicken. I don't know if I can crank one off to that, really. And there was another young lady who we had to, as a group effort, pack her into her corset. Like, really. Like, we had 2 people either side. I was at the back with the ropes, like Whale Rider, right? Some corsets have bones, this had girders. And we packed her in, and then she stands up and she goes, I'm going to take it off for the finale. I was like, don't, darling, you are going to lose your structure, right? She did. She literally yanked it, poof. It was like, it looked like she'd inflated a life jacket. But you also sort of, I mean, you know, this is a whole kind of windy story. I've been chatting all night. And, but the nice thing is that you kind of, when you do these things, you sort of discover how good people are. And that's the best thing. When something terrible happens to you, you discover how good the people around you are, even if they're a little misguided. Like this lady at work, she said, now, I know you've been a bit down recently, but I know you're on the way up. I went, yes, I am. She went, I've got you a present to help you on your way up. I went, thank you. And it's a wall plaque to put on my wall. And it says, dance like nobody is watching. Now, I don't quite understand that, because the like to me implies that somebody is watching. That's basically saying, you're a bit of a mental, but carry on, all right? That's not the same as saying, dance like you're invisible. That would be good, because if I was invisible, I would get $50 notes and lure people into traffic. If I was invisible, I would throw cats at traffic wardens, right? If I was invisible, I would go round to my ex-boyfriend's house. I would wait. And I would wait until he had got home, had his bath, loaded up the porn on his computer, and then at the last minute, when he's doing his thing and he's about to shoot to the moon, I would drop a Bible on the keyboard. I'd then run into the kitchen and start pulling out the crockery, going, I made you people and you just sit around wanking. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I don't know what God says. He never speaks to me. But this says dance like. What? That's like saying cook like nobody's eating. Invade like nobody's shooting. Breathe like nobody farted. What? I can't live my life that way. I can't have that on my wall as a motto, but she's my friend. And plus, it looks terrible. I've done enough visual arts, right? It looks bad, right? I know, I have learned something. And I'm like, no. She's my friend. Thank you. Love you too. And then, a couple of days later, another friend comes up to me and goes, I know you've been a bit down. Yes, good, check. But I know you're on the way up. Yes, okay, good. Have you had a meeting? And then she goes, I've got you a present. It's to help you. And I open it up, and it's a wall plaque to put on my wall. And this one says, sing like nobody's listening. Dance like nobody's watching, sing like nobody's listening. I think my friends want me to entertain the blind and the deaf. And plus now, it looks like I collect these fucking things, right? I start getting messages from people I don't even know at work, okay? Kind of going, hey, Di, travel the road less travelled, Terry. I sent him a terse email. Dear Terry, no. I will not travel the road less travelled because it fucks with my wheel alignment. And I thought, what can I do? What can I do to kind of defend myself, but at the same time not offend anybody? And I also, I mean, it's nice. I do want a little motto that I can live my life by, so I made up my own one. So now, when you come into my room, you can see my 3 little mottos. And my one's made out of cardboard and newspaper. It looks like a ransom note. And now, when you read it, it simply says, dance like nobody's watching. Sing like nobody's listening. Pound your cunt with a dildo like you're digging for the antidote. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Diane Spencer. Thank you very much. Good night.